Yes, welcome. The topic is about projection of straight lines, and for explaining the concept of projection of straight lines, going to use a quadrant setup. This quadrant setup has VP. VP stands for vertical plane, and this is horizontal. So this is called as horizontal plane. HP. HP means horizontal plane, and this is the XY line connecting VP and HP. This XY is a reference line shown green in color, and this is a setup called as quadrant. In this setup called as quadrant, I'm going to rotate this horizontal plane HP in clockwise. This is the direction of clockwise. Okay, so when I turn this HP 90-degree downward, downward means this is the direction of clockwise, downward. So this will come bottom below the XY line. The HP comes below the reference line shown green in color. So HP comes below the XY line and VP stands as it is above the XY line. Okay, the VP and HP becomes inline with the inline. Inline means it comes on the same vertical, what is called as the setup. Okay, vertical. Okay, the HP is above the XY line and HP comes below the XY line. So whatever the view projected on the vertical plane is called as a front view. Okay, and whatever the view projected on the HP is called as a top view. Looking from the top is projected on the horizontal plane, and the horizontal plane is rotated clockwise 90-degree. So it comes in line with the vertical plane. After turning to 90-degree, comes below the XY line. The projected view on the HP will be the top view. Okay, this setup is called as quadrant, and I'm going to explain the concept of projection of straight lines using this quadrant setup. This is called as first quadrant. This is second, third, and this will be the fourth quadrant. For explaining the concept of projection of straight lines, I'm going to use only the first quadrant, this part. So after turning the HP clockwise 90-degree, the HP comes below the XY line, and the view projected on the HP is called as top view, that comes below the XY line, and the view projected on the vertical plane is called as a front view, that going to come above the XY line, called as a reference line. Okay. Now you consider the line is placed in the first quadrant. This is first quadrant. The distance above HP is called as distance above HP. Above the horizontal plane, this particular distance is called as distance above HP. Similarly, the distance before the VP is called as in front of VP. This distance, this gap seen in the top view. Looking from the top, you can see the gap between the vertical plane VP and the object called the straight line. This distance is called as in front of VP, and this distance is called as above HP. The location of the straight line called as AB. Okay, suppose you consider this line is to be perpendicular to HP. Perpendicular means this is lies on HP. The line straight line, the straight line has two end points. One end is marked as A, the another end point is marked as B. When you join A and B, the end points, you will get a straight line. This you can consider the orange color shown in this video as a straight line having two end points marked A and B. When I place a line like this, I can say the line is perpendicular to HP. Perpendicular means 90-degree. Taken the protractor is taken. So this horizontal line in the protractor represents 0-degree. That is lies on HP. Okay. When I turn the straight line 10-degree, 20-degree, 30, 40, 50. At one stage, you will get 90-degree. 90-degree will be vertical with the horizontal plane. So the angle subtended by the straight line AB with the horizontal plane has 90-degree. This angle will be 90-degree. So that I can say the line is perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Parallel means what? Equal distance. The end point A is of say some 50 mm in front of VP, 50 mm. Similarly, the end point B is also located 50 mm in front of VP, this gap. So I can say the line is parallel. Parallel means uniform gap between the VP and the straight line. Uniform distance gap. So it's called as in front of VP. This distance is called as in front of VP. And the point here is having contact on the horizontal plane, HP, touching the HP. So draw its projections means it's a simple position of the straight line. So now for better understanding, You consider this the spherical shown red in color as a end point. One end point is called A. The same spherical can be considered for end point B. Okay, the end point is A, is having contact on the horizontal plane called as HP, is goes and projected on the vertical plane. 90-degree perpendicular, it goes and projected like a ray. Physics, you would have studied a ray. Like a ray, it is projected on the vertical plane called as VP, is marked as A dash. Similarly, another end point B is projected on the vertical plane, goes like a ray, is called marked as B dash. Okay, join AB, A dash and B dash, you get the front view. Will be same as this orange color portion. It's called as a true length. Whatever the length of the line can be projected, marked as A dash and B dash. If you join, you get the same length as this orange color length, called as a true length, TL. TL stands for true length. Okay, so this view A dash, B dash is called as a front view. Observer is a person who sees the object looking in this direction, is called as a front view direction. The points projected or the line projected on the vertical plane is called as front view. We'll have the true length TL, is called as a front view. So front view is projected on the vertical plane. Okay, so and this is a reference line shown green in color, connecting VP and HP. So now I'm going to draw a projection for this simple position of the straight line marked as A. Okay, it goes and projected on the vertical plane like a ray. I is marked as A dash in the front view. Similarly, B point is projected on the vertical plane, is marked as B dash. If you join A dash and B dash, you will get the front view. This is the front view direction. We'll have the true length. Okay, so now we're going to draw the projections for this. First, draw the XY line. This is shown green in color. Horizontal line using the longer scale of a drafter, using H or 2H pencil. End points are marked as capital X and Y. Okay, so now we're going to draw the front view. So this is the front view direction. The A point is projected on the XY line because the point is having contact on the horizontal plane. The point A touching. So similarly, when it is projected on the vertical plane, it falls or projected on the XY line itself like a ray. So having contact with the vertical plane, you locate a point called B. So this is a first quadrant. Now I'm going to draw the top view. For explaining the projection of top view, now I turn the camera. So looking from the top, this is VP, vertical plane, and this is horizontal plane HP. So looking from the top, the observer can see the top view of the straight line perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. So this is a top end point marked as B, bottom end point is marked as A. Okay, so looking from the top, the view projected is called as a top view. Top view will have distance called as in front of VP. Distance in front of VP. This is point B, is projected on the horizontal plane marked as B. Okay, and the merged point with B will be A. Okay, bottom end point is A, that is written in bracket. Both are lies on the same projection line. As the line is perpendicular to HP, we'll have a top view distance in front of VP. This is the distance, and the projected point will be marked as B and bracket A. The merged point with B will be A. That you have to understand. So this is a position of the straight line perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Parallel means this is distance seen in the top view. The point projected will be first seen looking from the top. The view obtained is called as a top view. First visible point to the observer will be B point, and A point will be merged with B. That is put in bracket. Okay, after projecting on a horizontal plane, as per the concept of orthographic projection or first angle projection or the first quadrant projection, the horizontal plane, this is a HP, is to be rotated or tilted clockwise 90 degree. This is the direction of clockwise, as I told you earlier. So when I turn the HP after projection, projecting or projection, the HP will comes below the XY line. I'm going to turn for 90 degree downward. It's called the clockwise direction. Okay, so HP comes below the XY line, and this is the distance, as I told you earlier, in front of VP that comes below the reference line, XY line. The view projected is called as top view, will be a single point called as B bracket A, lowercase letter is written. Front view means a letter with a dash will come. This you have to understand. So take your drafter scale. While drawing on the sheet, this distance is called as, shown green in color, is called the distance in front of VP, comes below the XY line, reference line. So using 2H pencil, draw a lighter line. So extending this front view, A dash, B dash, this is the distance called in front of VP. Say some 50 mm. So there you locate one point using H or 2H H pencil. Okay. The point, this point, particular point is called as B, seen in the top view, and the merged point with B will be A. That you have to put in bracket. Okay. And this is the distance called the distance in front of VP. So that you have to dimension it by dimension line and put it to narrow arrowhead, shade the arrowhead, and you can write the distance in front of VP below the XY line. Say some 50 mm. Center of the line, above the line, parallel to the line. You have to leave some gap between the numbers and the dimension line. Okay. So from here, what you understood? What is the inference we obtained from this in this video means? This is a portion of the straight line perpendicular to HP having 90 degree with the horizontal plane and parallel to VP. The front view is projected and marked as A dash and B will be having the true length as this orange color height or the length. The view obtained is called as front view that comes above the XY line. That view is called front view, is drawn on the drawing sheet or the marker board. And for projecting the top view, the observer goes to the top of the object and you can see the point B first. And the merged point with B will be A. Okay, and this is the distance called in front of VP. Okay, after projecting the HP, horizontal plane is rotated clockwise 90 degree. So distance in front of VP comes below the reference line, XY line. This point is B. And the distance is called the distance in front of VP, comes below the XY line. That distance is 50 mm. And point B, merged point with B will be A. That you have to put in bracket. Okay. So this view means the single point is called as a top view. Don't write mm and all. Bottom right side lower part you can draw two guidelines. And you can write all dimensions are in mm. Mm alone you can write it by small letter, lowercase letter, that represents millimeter. Okay. This is a portion of the straight line explained. For line perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Okay. And thanks for listening. Yes.